Hey guys, Technomentary with the video for you guys. In today's video, we're going to talk about the iPhone 12 Pro going into 2024. If this phone is still worth it, whether you are thinking of buying it, upgrading from it, or still using it. Should you still use this phone or think about upgrading? Everything you need to know, we're going to discuss in this video. So let's get started. So the iPhone 12 Pro was released in October of 2020. Now this is going to be just a little over 3-year-old phone. Now later this year, of course, it's going to be 4-year old phone. But as you can see here, this is one of the Pro lineup model, which originally started at the $999 price tag. Now the good thing about this phone is if you're looking to buy it right now pre-owned, which is most likely how you can only get it on Amazon, it's going to be around $350, which again is almost 1/3 the price. Of course, it's been a couple of years, but because of the Pro model, they bring in a lot of neat features, and a lot has changed with the new iPhone 15 Pro. If you're comparing it, first of all, to compare this body design of this phone, as you can see, it's really unique in its shape. This is a 6.1-inch display phone. I have the gold one. Now the 12 Pro comes in Pacific Blue, which is a new color that was introduced. It does come in graphite and silver as well. A couple other things about this phone is you'll probably notice from the feature, it does have those 12 megapixel triple camera on the back, that unique flat bezel, which for some reason I like that. The charging port was still Thunder port instead of the new iPhone 15, which now moves on to USB-C. So that might be a con if you're looking for faster data transfer. Now another thing you'll see here, the 5G is the first time it was introduced on the 12 model for iPhones. And then the physical SIM card share, which now doesn't seem like a big deal for the US model. At least if you buy a new iPhone starting with anything 14 or newer, you no longer have a physical SIM card. So if you have the 12 series or the 13 series, which is the last series, has a physical SIM card for the US spec iPhone, that's where it stops. Now other things to discuss about this iPhone is the build here is pretty good in terms of some of the titanium build that we've seen. The stainless steel does hold up really well. You don't see any sort of bending or any sort of issue in the build quality of this iPhone. Now one thing about the display here we're going to mention is it's only limited to 60 hertz compared to the 15 Pro, which is 120 hertz refresh rate. Now it does come packed with A14 Bionic chip and 6 gigs of RAM, which now if you compare with the 15 Pro, of course the chip architecture has changed to A17 Pro, which is going to be faster. But for the most part, things around gaming you can do for much light to medium gaming. Now if you go towards heavier gaming that are meant to be played on the console, that's when you're going to start seeing performance issue, was how we see it, because it did age a little bit. Now another thing to discuss about is the battery life on this iPhone here. As you can see here, with the 100% battery, you're going to get around 17 hours of video playback because it has a 2815 mAh battery. Now if you compare it to the new 15 Pro, which gets you around 23 hours, 5 hours different, now isn't going to make too much of a difference. It's pretty much a phone. If you use it from a medium user, you're probably going to get throughout the day with it. Now if you're a heavier user, you're probably going to need to charge at least once or so. Now if you're a really light user, which maybe you just use it for basic calling and texting, you can pretty much go the whole day on a full single charge. Now this phone is IP68 rated, meaning that it is dust and waterproof up to a certain length, of course, and meter that you can go down to. But if it does crack, because the back glass is a back glass in the front, if you have any crack, the water can get in, so you do want to be cautious with it. Now the iPhone 12 Pro now originally came out iOS 14. Now it is updated to iOS 17, which is the latest version of it. We expect it to get 2 more years of iOS updates, so most likely up to 2026. So in terms of software update, you're going to get all the major software update. Now if you look at all the apps I have here, all of your popular apps will work. There's no apps out there that will not work on the iPhone 12 Pro, because most of the apps are running on iOS 17 is the latest version, and all of this is supported, which you can see here when I'm opening up all the apps here. You just launch really quickly, and that's kind of where this phone is. It has a lot of power still on. It's great for your social media, for streaming, listening to music, watching videos, whatever, even for photo editing. A little bit in the video editing, not going to be the greatest when it comes to video editing, but you can use iMovie and such for it. But as you can see here, most of the apps will launch without any issues with it. So in terms of app wise usage, still great for this phone. So now to kind of talk about the pros and the cons about this phone. Now, of course, talking about the cons, it's going to be around the camera here. Now the camera is 12 megapixel camera. Now in the new iPhone 15 series, you have a 48 megapixel main camera. So technology for the camera, of course, has upgraded, and that's usually what Apple does every year with the single upgrade. They'll upgrade the camera. So if you're not too worried about the camera and you can deal with it, the camera still again takes phenomenal photos, videos, even does photography portrait mode. So even if you can see in the video, we can go up to 4K 60 frames per second. By no means the camera might be a little bit older. It still is a great camera for an iPhone. And of course, another limitation is gaming, of course, because it is a older chip. If you're gaming with something that's meant to be played on the console, the iPhone 12 Pro, it's going to have its limitation on it. Now, the pros of this iPhone is that this is the first phone that Apple introduced 5G, so that's definitely a plus. The price point, $350 around for a pre-owned, is a steal for this Pro model, which is the best probably Pro model you can get out there right now. And software update, if you are thinking about this phone, it's going to be good for major update for another 2 years, and then even after that another year. So if you have it and you don't want to pay $1,000 for a new upgrade, the 12 Pro still will do pretty much most of the job if you're not looking for every single enhancement that has happened since the 12 Pro, because it will get you by pretty much throughout the day with that battery life and basic stuff that you want to do. You'll be able to kind of do without any issues on your iPhone. And that's kind of it for it. Is the 12 Pro worth it in 2024? Definitely still worth it if you're still using it. If you want to buy this, definitely worth it as well. If you're going to think about the upgrade, think about those minor incremental upgrade. If you want those, of course, you're going to go ahead and update it. But if you don't want to, you can pretty much stay with this phone another 2 years, no problem. And that's our review of the iPhone 12 Pro. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If so, please consider hitting a like and subscribe button for more tips, tricks, and reviews like this for other iPhones. See you guys next time.